right. So I'm going to have this recorded. So if you have team members that couldn't get on tonight, I will have this uploaded to the Phoenix Movement YouTube channel by tomorrow morning. And then it'll also be posted in the October recordings post underneath the Phoenix Movement team page. Okay, so I know a lot of us, including myself, have struggled with this whole relationship building thing, right? Like, we know how to ask somebody, oh my gosh, such a beautiful view. Where is this located, right? We know how to do that. And then we also know how to ask people to make income with us. But it's about bridging the gap between point A to our final destination, right? So the first thing that I want to do is we're just going to do some hands-on tasks. And then I'm going to leave this open for you guys to unmute yourselves to ask questions like, okay, if someone responds to you, what do I do from here? Because I think that this is just the best route to go, and because every question is going to be different with each person, right? So I can't just automatically be like, oh, well, you need to say this for this and say this for this, right? So I think that this will just be the best route. So I'm going to give you a task to do. How many of us on here use Instagram most, and how many of us on here use Facebook most? Drop me a 1 for Instagram and a 2 for Facebook in the chat. Okay, it looks like it's dominated by Facebook, but I'll go ahead and give a task that will work on both. So instead of going to grow our network for this task, let's go to our stories on our Facebook or Instagram. And let's go through there and let's just start engaging with people in our stories on one of our platforms, and just start asking a question. And here's the thing, you guys, when you're asking these questions, you don't want to be like, oh, you have kids, I have kids. They will know what you're doing right out of the gate. Like, we want to be asking authentic questions. If you don't think the girl's shirt is cute, don't ask. Like, hey, you look so amazing. Where did you get it? When you really know that it looks like crap. Like, you want these conversations to be authentic and real. So let's go and do this for 5 minutes. And then we'll talk about, while we wait for people to respond, we'll do some growing of the network after that. So Joe, do you know how to find stories on your Facebook? You do? Okay. Hang on, I have you muted. Let me try to unmute you really quick.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
When you say stories on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
you mean like stories of different people that have a story they share, or what do you mean by that?
I'll screen share and show you what I'm talking about so you can see it. That'll be easier.
May I ask you something?
Yep.
I was listening to what you were saying, and one of my favorite ways that I love to do with people to get them interested in is them not realize I'm directly communicating to them, but yet they hear it like a third party about how good something is, and then they ask me about it, and it opens up the door. Is that called something in particular to you, or a method at all?
That in and of itself, I think, is just creating curiosity. That's kind of like a way that we would go about that here. Sometimes, like, we do it with attraction marketing. Like, we'll make a post or something, and like, we won't be like in your face direct about it, but it's like indirectly direct, and it gets people asking you instead. So yeah. Okay, let me show you really quick where you can find your stories on your Facebook.
Okay.
So right up here at the top on your Facebook, do you see these things?
Yeah, I do.
Those are what you call stories.
Okay.
So what you would do is you're just going to go through and you can click on those. You can tap the screen and it will take you through more pictures or videos of what they have. And
Awesome.
what we like to do to build relationships this way is, let me see, let me find one that's not an ambassador. You can also slide it and it will skip over people too.
Okay.
Let's see. Like I want to ask an authentic question. So like this girl, I'll ask her. I think that dress is actually really cute. So what I would do is I would click down here at the bottom and I would say, hey, Jessie. Oop. That black dress looks stunning on you. And I always compliment them too, right? Like if it's something that has to do with what they're wearing or whatever, would you mind telling me where I can find it? And what this does is it is an authentic question that has nothing to do with the business, because right now all I want to do is I just want to be asking a question to get into their inbox to get to know them more. So this would be people that I don't have a relationship with now. It like maybe you have friends from high school that you know, or maybe you have coworkers, but you really haven't talked to them in a really long time that are on your social media. This is just a way to warm them back up. And then after that, when she comes back and tells me, she's probably going to tell me where it is, then I'm going to follow up with, oh my gosh, do you have a website that I can go look at it? Is this a boutique? I'm just going to keep asking her questions over and over and over again until we start to talk about different things and communication. We're opening it up wider to where I can find something where now I can actually offer to her this opportunity. And then once she accepts, yes, I want to hear more about it, then I would send her a video or ask her to get on live to a presentation. So that's how we do relationship building here. Anything that you can, connect with them on. And if you don't feel like there's something about that person today, skip them and find somebody else. It doesn't have to be that one person that we're always communicating with, right?
Okay.
How's it coming, everyone? Are you guys good so far?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I'm trying to get it past all the ambassadors.
And that's another thing, a reason why you have so many ambassadors at the beginning of your stories. Do you guys know why? Because that's who you're engaging with the most. Your ambassadors on your team or sidelines should really be further back in your stories. So that just goes to show you right there where you're putting your time.
All right. I'm gonna try this now. Okay. I'm gonna go on Facebook and is it gonna lose you if I go to Facebook?
No, it'll allow you to still work.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So that's something to think about. If you're looking at the front of your stories here, well, Vinny, I think that did just kick him off, but it shouldn't have kicked him off. I don't know what he did when he swiped, because we all can always work from our phone. So you might message him. I hope he didn't say like leave meeting.
He'll come back on.
So if you have all of your ambassadors at the front of your stories, we need to change that. It's okay if you have a couple of them, but if you have a bunch of team members or business partners that are sitting at the top of your stories and you have to keep sliding over to the left more and more and more, then that will show you right there who you're spending more time engaging with. And that's going to tell you that you're actually spending too much time on your business partners' posts than what you need to be. Because it populates who you engage with the most in your stories up front.
And some of them I didn't even realize it was ambassadors until they started posting some of the stuff on there.
Yeah. I'll give this a few more minutes longer because this is really about engaging a lot. And that's what we need to be doing, is focusing on that. And I want you guys to know too, that my inbox is always open. If you come across something and you get stuck and you don't know where to take the message next, please don't hesitate to come and ask and say, hey, like, I am working on this relationship building thing. Here's where we are, but I don't know what to do from here. So don't be afraid to ask. My door is always open, when it comes to this stuff. And I'll be the first to tell you guys, I dreaded building
Tired?
relationships.
I said to shut off the computer.
It was not something that I personally wanted to do. I have been somebody who can engage all day long when it came to on their posts. But as far as wanting to actually build solid relationships, in my previous project, I was like, let's get straight to the point. I just sent straight up cold messages all the time because that's what worked for me. I didn't care. And to this day, I really still don't care because it's just something that I've done for 5 years, but I do know the importance behind it and the science behind building relationships. It's not just about getting people to sign up. When you build those relationships, you're actually building a stronger connection between you and your business partner that signs up, and the longevity of them sticking around is way higher than cold messaging someone.
Yeah. No, she's not.
Okay, now let's work on growing our network while we wait on some of these people to respond back to us. What I would like to hear from you guys on is drop some tips in the comments on how, or even it can be tips, or it can be ways that you think that you're doing it right, but maybe you could evolve it. Like, where are you personally going to add friends from? How are you doing it? And if you don't know, just say, I don't know. I don't know how. And that's totally fine. It's okay. That's
Okay.
what we're on here for.
Ask that again, please.
Where do you grow your network from? Like, how do you grow your network? Where do you do it? Do you do it by adding mutual friends? Do you do it from Facebook groups? Do you search through reels, hashtags? Like, what is the way that you do that?
When I message people, I go through, like, whenever I'm messaging somebody, I'll click onto their page and then I'll go to their friends and pick like 5 or 6 down through there. And then I'll pick one of those pages and go back through and pick a few down through there as well. And do that 2 or 3 times.
When you're doing this, are you setting the intention of the people that you're adding? Like, oh, well, like, I think she would be amazing to work with.
Yeah, I'm
Or
looking
are
at
you
their,
just going through and adding?
I'm looking at their pages and that I
Okay.
like their pages and stuff. And if I like what they have on there, then I'll friend them and then.
Okay, good. The reason I ask is when we're growing our network, we need to set the intention. And I also want to say this too. You can add friends or click the follow button in so many different ways. But what I found is when I set the intention of doing it the same way every single time, or the topic being the same, and I'll explain that in a second, I find that consistency of that one thing, because you know how you do one thing is how you do everything. Your consistency of doing the same thing over and over and over again is where you're going to get that compound effect in those results, right? So when you are adding friends or clicking the follow button, make sure that your intention is that these are actually people that you want to work with. Like we don't, in my previous project, we were just taught to go add. And guess what that did? We were bringing in people with a broke mindset. There was no intention behind it. We were signing people that didn't have a money mindset. We were having people that were quitting as fast as they got started. And that's not what you want. When you're growing your network, you want to make sure that you have an intention behind it. And if you even have the slightest bit of this like bad vibe, don't add them. You want to make sure that you're adding for a purpose, on a purpose, with a purpose. That's what I used to always tell my team. So for a purpose, with a purpose, on purpose. I even go to other companies, and here's how I'm growing my network, because how many of us know that if we came from a previous project, we know that if they knew what we had here, it would save their life. Right? Exactly. So I go to places like my previous project, the name of the company. I will go to their main pages on Instagram or on Facebook. So if you're somebody that's looking for bigger players to partner with you, I will do half of my adding from that, because obviously I want a little bit of both. I want to shake it up a little bit. So I'm not just adding people from other companies. I'm adding people from another way. But let me talk about the adding from other companies really quick. We all know that we came from a previous project for a reason, especially if you've been a leader in the industry for quite some time. So we know that we want to save those people. We want to help them, and we want to bring them into our team so we can help them grow. We can help them get wins faster. They can bring on people that they worked with over there. So I will search for that way. And then, and you could, like, you know, on Facebook, you can do it where you like type in the title at the search bar at the top. There's pages that have their corporate pages that are business pages that you can go to. I will even search for top leaders, like top 150 income earners that are with that company, and people that are following them. I will go and add their friends, add their followers on Facebook. Then if it's on Instagram, I will search for their actual profile of the company over there. And there's multiple different ones. So it really just depends on who you were with before you came over here. I think a majority of us that are on this call right now that did come from a different company all came from the same different company. So we all know that we want to be everyone's saving grace over there. So, but yeah, find a top leader that is with that company, somebody that was, you know, a top income earner, and then go through their followers. Some of those people have 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers. There are plenty of people to go around. Then when it comes to searching for people that are not top leaders, I'm going to search for titles of books that are business mindset books, that are relationship books, that are communication books, leadership books, like titles, books that I've read, books that I want to read. And then when I find something that is related to that, it could be the author of that book, I will go and follow their followers. But when I do this, not only am I doing it with an intention to find people that I want to work with, I want to make sure that they're content creators. I don't want to partner with someone that I'm going to have to literally teach them how to put a post up. We don't have time for that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that those people don't know what they're doing. There was a point in time where I did, but I'm on a mission and I have an intent, right? So I want to make sure that I'm going after people that I know that I don't have to spend as much time on the technology side with them. Not to say that I won't help someone who doesn't, because absolutely I would. I have a servant's heart, but I'm just saying I have an intention. And if I know that someone can create their own content, then chances are they're going to be able to create their own business. What do I mean by content? I mean people who do live videos, people who create reels, people who don't share 999 posts a day. The sharing button is bad. We want people to create. They are creators of their life. So if they're putting up their own stories, like when I am following and adding friends, I make sure that they are putting up stories. I do, because that's where I do a lot of my relationship building from. Looks like there's some, that is the biggest change. If they don't have reels, I don't add them anymore. I was so scared about how to put a post. It's okay. You know, Tiffany, there's so many different ways to post. There's no right or wrong way per se, but you do want to be authentic. You do want to show your face and your family's face whenever you're doing this. You do want to have content, like, you know, you don't want to just be posting memes all day. You don't want to click the share button of my post, because guess what happens when you do that? Your friends and your followers are going to come to the original content creator and they're going to get to know her or him. You want them to come to you. So if you see a post that I've done or another leader, you want to use it as inspiration. You don't want to copy and paste it, because that's not being authentic, but you do want to use it as inspiration to create your own. So Tiffany, when we get off this call, I will get with you on attraction marketing, and I'll send you a video that can really show you what that means and how to utilize it to be a good tool for your business. I need to learn grace and quit looking at how Sally is doing it. Yes. You're the biggest thing that someone could absolutely do wrong in this business that will paralyze them, that will set them back months, is the comparison game. Comparison is the biggest mindset killer. It will kill your paycheck. It will kill your relationships. It will literally kill everything that is in reference to your dreams. If you came in at chapter 1, and I'm on like my 7th book of chapter 17 in the very last sentence, you can't compare that to me. Experience is a huge key factor in this business. I can remember thinking to myself when I was in my previous project in the fall of 2018, there was a couple that came in, and in 60 days, they had promoted to what they called presidential diamond over there. 60 days, they went presidential diamond. And that was like the 7th rank in the company out of 8. There's a total of 8. And I can remember thinking to myself, like, man, like, how are people doing stuff like that? They're like, that's insane. How can somebody go presidential diamond in 60 days? Like, it made me feel bad about myself and my business, because I had been there a year and a half. And then I got on a coaching Zoom with her to find that she had been in the industry for 14 years. So she had already went through her trials. She had already went through her tribulations. She had already went through her paralyzing season, being down in the valley, having her moments of tears and crying and being upset, wondering why she wasn't good enough, and all of these different things. So if someone comes in and they blow past all of us, you just have to remember that people come, especially to Q, with teams from other companies. They do. They come with more experience. They've been in for an incredibly long time. So never, ever, ever look to your left or to your right. The only thing you need to have on is your promotion goggles, your own personal business goggles, where you can't look to the left or the right, and you can only look at what's in front of you. Your journey is not the same as mine. My journey is not the same as Jamie's. Jamie's journey is not the same as Kristen's. Kristen's is not the same as Marielle's. We all have a different journey. But what matters is that we don't give up and that we don't quit and that we just keep our eyes looking ahead. Okay, how's everybody doing on growing their network? What I tend to do when I'm doing it that way in particularly is I will do 50 on Facebook and 100 on Instagram every day. Facebook and I have a love-hate relationship, so it only lets me add 50 friends a day. But Instagram lets me do more, so I do that. And then another way that I do following on Instagram is when I'm being intentional and I'm making sure every single morning, you guys, that whenever I get up, I do the most tedious tasks possible. The ones that I can't stand doing, the ones that if I end up putting them off to the end of the night before I go to bed, I'm not going to do them. So I do those first, the harder, most annoying ones, so I get them out of the way, which means that I will go on Instagram and I will search for those top leaders. I will go and follow people that have stories. And then I'm doing a 3, 2, 1 method. I like 3 posts after I click follow. Nope, actually, I go through their profile first before I click follow because I want to make sure that there's someone that I want to work with. If I find that I do, and I've liked 3 posts at this point, then I do click the follow button. So I've liked 3 posts, I've commented on 2 posts, and then I'm going into their story or I'm looking at a reel and I'm asking them a question about it. And that's how I get my relationship building, growing my network, and engagement done all in one step. And I do this until I have 10 people who do respond back to me in conversation. If it's 1 to 2 word responses, I don't consider that a conversation. It needs to be a full on conversation about whatever it is that we're talking about before I consider to even put them on my warm market list and then transfer them to what I call my 20s list, my hot list for that week of the people that I'm going to eventually expose to the video. Does anyone have any questions really quick on how you need to respond to someone? Like, are you stuck when you get from the bridge to the gap part really quick? Or have we not got there yet?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
My question is, because I am so new, I need to know this product so that I know how I want to approach this. I feel like I'm in the dark right this moment, but my question really is this: am I approaching these people as customers or people to add to that want to join the business, or both at the same time?
Well, you can sign customers and make money, and you can sign ambassadors and make money. Really, at the end of the day, our job is to simply expose people to Q in the video and let the cards fall as they may. Let
Okay.
them decide. With that being said, Joe, what we do here with our system, this was going to be on your next call. We haven't got that far yet because we want to get your private ribbon cutting event done first before we do anything else. But if you have people now that you've already maybe mentioned that you're doing this with, you send a screenshot to your support chat with me and Jenny, and I will tell you exactly what to do and how to handle the conversation with what products and stuff like that as you're learning. So you don't need to know it all to get a customer signed is what I mean.
Okay.
Okay, so nobody has any questions on the bridging the gap part yet?
I have a question. Okay, I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what if say we've talked to them a little bit, they've become a warm market, but what if we approach them too soon about Q and they kind of like it wobbles? How do you recoup go back to just building the relationship?
It kind of depends on the conversation. Each and every single one of them will be different. I'm a visual person, so I would have to see the conversation on when it started, to you exposing, to having the relationship built, to the exposure of asking them if they wanted to, and then it wobbles and flops. Like I would have to see the conversation, because there could be a tidbit in there that I could actually pull it back and fix it, but I would have to see the flow of it first.
Sure, okay.
So if you have something like that, Jeannie, just get it and send it over to me and I'll help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When you reach out to someone, what do you say? I try and ask them how their day is, shit like that, as opposed to, hey, what do you think about this? I am asking them, who asked me that question? Hang on. Mackie, I am asking them anything that pertains to something that was in a post or their story. So I'm not just saying, hey, how was your day? I'm actually looking for something on their page or in their content that I can talk to them about. So maybe it's a cute dress that they're wearing. Maybe they're at the lake or they're in the mountains. I can ask them where they got the dress, tell them how stunning they look in it first, give them a compliment. Then I'm going to say that the mountains are beautiful. Like, where is this located at? Like, I want it to be something that's authentic and not just, hey, you got kids, I got kids. Oh, your kid plays baseball, my kid plays baseball. You know, something like that. They can smell that a mile away. It needs to be something that is about whatever they are posting about. We have to take ourselves out of the equation, because this isn't about us. This is about them. We're going to them about something, so we need to make it always about them. Complimenting is your most, it's going to be the best thing that you can do in any situation. Compliment the person about anything. Maybe they have a really cute cup that you like, or a nice watch that they're wearing, an awesome hat. They were at a friend's wedding, and you know, they had some kind of decor there that you liked, and you want to know where they got it from. They have on a flannel shirt. You know, it just really depends. You need to look at their content and see where to ask from there. I don't want to keep you guys on here too much longer.
Can I throw something in? How many times a day? Okay. How many times a day do we all get something in our messenger from someone we've never talked to before? The first thing they say is, how are you? I hope you had a great day, or how was your day? That is, and I automatically say spam, scam.
Every time.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to do that.
Or my favorite one is, hey, I'm so glad that
It's gotta
we
be
connected. Thanks
personalized.
for adding me as a friend. Tell me more about yourself. Same thing. I know what they're doing.
Where do you
Every
live?
time. Yeah.
They hadn't been to my profile. Where do you live? Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
What about-
How do you explain to people what Q Sciences is? Tiffany, I just simply tell them that we're a health and wellness company with over 60 plant-based, hormone-free, non-GMO products. And then, you know, really what you need to do, because every conversation is going to be different. When somebody is asking you that question, you need to be sending screenshots to your support chat or to the person that enrolled you, because it depends on how the initiation of the conversation started too. Our job is to get people to watch a video. So we need to know from point A to point B, how to get them there, but we can't get them to point B without knowing exactly what started the conversation in the first place. But that's what I always tell them. It's a plant-based, hormone-free, non-GMO, medical grade health and wellness company. We offer supplements and we help people make income. That's typically what I say. I'm trying to see if I'm missing any other questions, because I'm already 5 minutes late. So we're going to have to hurry and cut this out. We have
more
this-
quick question, Trish.
Yes, let me finish reading these really quick though,
Oh,
because I want to
sorry.
make sure I'm not missing someone in the chat. That's why I mean you're doing small talk first. I go through groups, Facebook friends. Okay, go ahead.
The ones that have like, a lot of their stuff on their pages where they have just share their content. They're not, they don't have where you can like or comment or anything like that. Do you just kind of go past them or?
I get them off my friends list if I'm not really friends with them.
Okay.
I'm not wasting my time. I wouldn't even be on social media, you guys, if you want to know the truth, if it wasn't for this business. So I use my social media as a business, and I do it in a way that has my life in it. But that's literally what I have it for these days. Before, back 5 years ago, I was very seldomly on Facebook. I was on it enough that I could communicate with people and I scrolled, but I was never on it in a way that I actually cared enough what was going on in people's lives. Like, I just wasn't. And now I am, but I'm also on here for the business. And so everything that I do is aimed at being intentional with my business. So if I have friends on my social media that I don't even really know, and they have no content whatsoever that is theirs, and you have no way to comment on their stuff, no way to like their stuff, and you're not really friends with them, do you need them on there? No. Jeannie, did you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. If you guys get something on this bridge the gap thing, please send me a screenshot so I can help you with how to transition and keep going in your conversation. But at the end of the day, it's really just about being a great question asker. So if they tell you where the lake is, just say, oh my gosh, I've never been there before. And then kind of make a funny about it. Like, for example, I did one with this girl a couple weeks ago, and I asked her where she was because she was on her boat on the lake. And she told me, I was like, wow, that view is like really pretty. Where is this? And she said, oh, it's in Arizona. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. I've never been to Arizona before. But then again, I don't really travel like I need to. Do you travel often? Do you see how I went from this to that? Then I also, and then no, first I said, are you traveling or do you live there? Oh no, I live here. I said, oh, okay. Do you travel a lot? Then we kept getting into stuff about traveling. Then I went and looked at her Facebook page and I was like, oh my gosh, like I see that you're doing 75 hard. I've been contemplating about doing 75 hard. And I see that you read a lot of books. I'm into self-development. Can you tell me some books that you're reading? And she just like laid them all out to me. I knew right then and there that she was somebody that would be a leader on my team because she was doing fitness and she was reading books. So I waited an hour. Then I went back to her and I said, oh my gosh, please don't hate me for this. And I don't even know if like, or how did I write it? Please don't hate me for this. But I have to ask, I am getting to work exclusively with a member of the board, and we're looking for leaders who can help us shape and define our organization's culture. I don't know if you're even looking for an extra stream of income, but if you are, would you be open to chatting about it? Bam. She was like, absolutely, I would love to be open to chatting about it. What you got? And then I said, well, I work for a company that's a health and wellness company. We have plant-based, hormone-free, non-GMO products for weight loss, detox, hair growth, skincare, pain relief. There's over 60 different products, but you know what? My friend Kristen can explain this to you way better than I ever could. How about I send you this quick video, you check this out, and then as soon as you're done, we can chat about it. Bam. See how simple that was to go from relationship building. And I even went back to her page to see if there was anything else that I could bring up to chat with her about. So I didn't just stop at the initial question of the lake. I went back to her page to see if there was anything else that I was in common with her about. So I was just like letting her know right then and there, like, hey, I'm not a stalker, but I kind of just stalked your page, and I would put like laughing emojis with it to make it fun. Right? So put a little bit of humor in there to it. And like, then they're going to feel like complimented because you went and checked their profile out. How many times when someone's like, I just looked at your profile and how did that make you feel? Good, right? Because someone's looking at your content. So it's just like that. All right, you guys, I sent us over 11 minutes. Sorry about that. But I hope that this was helpful. We're going to do this every Sunday and Tuesday. Next Sunday, I'm going to have something a little bit more different prepared if I can, that goes along with this. So we can be a little bit more intentional with going from here to here. But I think that this is a good start in helping you guys at least get it moving. So appreciate you. And I will be doing the QIQ tomorrow night at 9:30 Central Time. Wait, tomorrow's Wednesday. Just kidding. I'm doing it Thursday. And Samantha and Jamie will be doing the one at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So we do have that set up. So we will have some QIQ presentations on Thursday night. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye.